Why do some people, even those who pray devoutly, help with love and heal with faith, seem to be the most spiritually attacked? Why are those sensitive, just, and compassionate souls the ones who face the most trials, blockages, and confusion? This question is not a coincidence. It does not appear without reason. If it has come to you today, it's because your soul already knows the answer, even if it hasn't fully understood it yet. Perhaps you felt it yourself. A pressure in your chest with no medical cause, a deep fatigue that rest cannot cure, conflicts that arise from nowhere, moments of intense discouragement that make you doubt your path. And most unsettling of all, that strange feeling that something invisible is trying to stop you, right when you're closest to achieving spiritual progress. Let me tell you clearly, you are not alone. Many souls around the world are going through this experience, but not just any souls. These are people who have been called, people who carry within them a light so intense that when it begins to expand, it draws the attention of forces that do not want that light to spread. That's when spiritual attack is activated. And though it may seem like a misfortune, it's actually a confirmation. Yes, when the spiritual world pushes you to your limit, it's because you're crossing an inner threshold. You're remembering who you are. You're awakening to your mission. And in that process, the dark forces mobilize, not because you're weak, but because you're dangerous to them. Because within you is a purpose that can heal, awaken, and liberate others. That's why it's vital that you recognize the signs. There are subtle indicators, sometimes invisible to the physical world, that reveal you are under attack. But only those with a prepared heart can recognize them in time. And when you do, nothing is ever the same again. Do you understand that every shadow that surrounded you was not a punishment, but a test? A way to temper your soul for what's coming? Stay with me until the end of this message, because I will not speak from fear or religion. I will speak from the soul, from that inner truth that tells you this is not just another video. It's a call, a portal, a revelation that could be the beginning of your true mission in this life. Write right now in the comments, "Yes, I'm ready." Say it as a spiritual declaration, not for me, but for you. So the universe hears your intention, so your soul records it in its eternal memory. You are ready to see, to remember, and to awaken, because if you've made it this far, it's because your spirit no longer wants to sleep. This is only the beginning. A spiritual attack is not a fantasy or an ancient superstition. It's a silent reality that many sensitive souls have experienced without knowing what to call it. It shows up in subtle but powerful ways. It leaves no visible physical marks, but it leaves the soul trembling. Not everyone knows how to identify it, and that's why many confuse it with sadness, anxiety, or simply bad luck. But it's not that. It's something much deeper. A spiritual attack occurs when invisible but real forces try to stop your inner progress, cloud your intuition, or divert you from the path you're about to discover. It comes when you're vibrating high, when you've started to remember your power, when you've begun to awaken, and it appears just as you're about to cross a threshold with no return, the threshold of your divine purpose. These attacks don't come by chance. They don't appear at any moment, nor do they happen to just anyone. They are sent when a light starts to shine brighter than the rest, when a person begins to awaken consciousness, to raise the frequency of those around them, to act with compassion, truth, and faith. Then a spiritual resistance is activated, a shadow that seeks to dim that light before it ignites others. And here is a truth few dare to speak. God's chosen ones exist. They are souls that have incarnated in this time with a clear mission, even if they don't always know it from the start. Ordinary people in the world's eyes, but with a different essence, a higher frequency, a deeper sensitivity. The attacks come to them not because they are weak, but because their light is necessary. A chosen one of God is a bearer of light in times of darkness. It's the one who walks through storms, but keeps going. The one who falls, but rises wiser. The one who has been tested again and again, not to be punished, but to be strengthened, because they will carry a torch that many others will follow in the spiritual night that covers the world. If you've ever felt that something invisible is trying to stop you, if you've noticed that the more you advance spiritually, the more obstacles appear in your path, then know this is not coincidence. There is a battle that not everyone sees, but you have felt it. Say now, I am light. Say it from your truth, from your soul. Because if this message resonates with you, it's because your mission has already begun. And the more you recognize yourself as a bearer of light, the more spiritual strength will be given to you to fulfill it. Now that you understand what a spiritual attack is, it's time to look inward with honesty. Maybe you've already experienced some of these signs without knowing they were warnings from the spiritual world. Maybe you felt them, but didn't dare name them. Today, we're going to unveil them one by one, because when you identify the invisible, you begin to reclaim your power. Sign 1. Extreme exhaustion without physical cause. There are days when you wake up and for no reason, you feel like you're carrying a burden that isn't yours. Your body feels heavy, your mind is foggy, and although you sleep, you don't rest. Nothing explains it. Your medical tests are fine, you haven't changed your routine, and yet you feel like you're slowly fading. This exhaustion is not physical, it's spiritual. It's as if something is draining your vital energy, absorbing your light from within. If you felt it, it's a sign that you're being interfered with by forces seeking to destabilize you from your center. Sign 2. Recurring nightmares or sleep paralysis. These aren't just bad dreams. These are nights where your soul seems to be attacked while your body sleeps. Dark, confusing dreams where you're chased, manipulated, or feel a presence watching you from the shadows. Sometimes you wake up unable to move, with an unexplainable anguish in your chest. That's sleep paralysis. And while science gives it a neurological explanation, there's a spiritual background that cannot be denied. Your energy field is being breached while you sleep. Spiritual attacks often occur in the dream realm because that's where you are most open, most vulnerable, and most connected to the invisible. Sign 3. Constant blockages right before achieving something important. Every time you're about to make a breakthrough, whether a project, healing, spiritual connection, or important decision, everything suddenly gets complicated. Conflicts arise, opportunities are canceled, you get sick for no reason. Things mysteriously fall apart. This is one of the clearest signs of spiritual interference. It's not coincidence. There are forces that detect when you're about to fulfill part of your mission and will do anything to divert you before you get there. When these 3 signs repeat and intensify, they are not coincidence. They are evidence that something invisible has been surrounding you, and now you can see it. And the most important thing, if you can see it, you can transform it. Help us share this message with more people. Subscribe, like, and tell us in the comments what spiritual signs you've experienced. This channel is a refuge for awakened souls, and your story may be the light someone else needs to understand their own. When a person is about to remember their purpose, when the soul begins to align with the divine plan it came to fulfill, a powerful spiritual law is activated. The forces of darkness, those that thrive on chaos, confusion, and fear, begin to stir, because they know that when a chosen one awakens, everything around them changes, and that change is a threat to those who feed on unconsciousness. That's why the chosen are attacked, not because they're weak or victims, but because they're close to something sacred. Their soul, even if it doesn't fully know it yet, is igniting a flame that can light the way for many. That light, which may still be small and flickering, has already begun to resonate in dimensions we cannot see. And that's why the wind begins to blow harder. The taller the lighthouse, the stronger the wind against it. Think of that image. A lighthouse is not hidden in the ground. It stands on a high, firm rock, facing storms to guide lost ships. So it is with the chosen. People who, even while facing their own inner battles, are called to shine. And the higher they rise, the greater the resistance they face. But being chosen does not mean being perfect. You are not here for your flawlessness. You are here for your sensitivity, for your connection to the invisible, for your heart that hears the world's pain and seeks to heal it. The chosen often have deep wounds because those wounds have been the fertile soil where their compassion was sown. They have fallen many times, but each fall made them more humble, wiser, more true. Being chosen is not a privilege. It is a spiritual responsibility. It is accepting that you are sent to this plane with a special mission, to spread light in the midst of shadow, to hold faith in times of confusion, and to remind others that there is a higher, purer, more conscious path. And if, while hearing this, something inside you stirs, if a part of your soul trembles as if it already knew these words, then don't ignore it, because what you feel is the echo of your calling. If you too feel you were chosen for something great, write it below. I accept my mission. Declare it not as an act of ego, but as an act of awareness. Because the clearer you are about your calling, the more spiritual strength you will have to endure the trials and fulfill your purpose in this world. Sometimes the signs of a spiritual attack don't appear in dreams or obvious blockages. Sometimes they show up more subtly, disguised as people, emotions, or sensations that are hard to explain. They infiltrate the everyday, the seemingly normal, and that's why many don't detect them. But your soul does. It feels it, because there's something within you that recognizes when an energy doesn't belong to you and yet tries to take hold of you. Sign 4. Toxic people who appear out of nowhere to drain you. Have you noticed how, just when you're raising your vibration, people show up who try to dim it? They're not always obvious enemies. Sometimes they come disguised as friends, partners, even family. But their energy is heavy, chaotic, disordered. They come to you right when you're about to reach a new level of clarity, and suddenly everything gets tangled. They drag you into arguments, steal your peace, confuse you emotionally, and most concerning of all, after being with them, you feel drained, empty, as if something was taken from you. That's no coincidence. It's a spiritual interference. And if you don't recognize it, it can slowly extinguish your light. Sign 5. Unexplained anxiety or sadness that appears without reason. There are moments when everything seems fine, but inside you feel a paralyzing emptiness, a sadness you can't justify, a wave of anguish that hits like a dark cloud with no warning. These types of emotions, when not tied to any real event, can be the result of external energies that have entered your field. Remember, not everything you feel is yours. And often, spiritual attacks begin by weakening your emotional field, because that's where you become most vulnerable. It's how they plant doubt and cut your connection with your inner guidance. Sign 6. A sense of disconnection from your purpose or spiritual guidance. Spiritual key number 3, constant energetic cleansing. Just as you clean your physical body, you must cleanse your energetic field. Use tools that connect you with the earth and spirit, natural incense, sea salt baths, sacred herbal infusions, harmonic sounds, crystals, and golden light visualizations that flow through your entire being. You don't need grand rituals, only clear intention. The golden light in particular is a symbol of divine protection. Visualize it entering through your crown and spreading throughout your body, forming a radiant shield that prevents any unaligned energy from approaching you. Remember this clearly: knowledge is protection. And when you know what you're facing and you know you are a child of the light, the spiritual enemy withdraws because it can no longer manipulate you through ignorance, because it can no longer feed on your fear. If you've come this far, it's not by chance. It wasn't just a simple video that brought you here. It was a calling, a response to what your soul has been silently asking for. And now, I want to leave you with a truth that can completely transform how you understand what you are experiencing. You are not being punished. You are being forged. Every trial, every dark night, every battle you thought you lost has had a higher purpose. The pain did not come to destroy you. It came to purify you, to make you stronger, wiser, more conscious, because gold is only revealed when it passes through fire. And you are made of divine material. The spiritual attack you are facing is not a sign of weakness. It is a silent confirmation that you are crossing the threshold of your true awakening. Because when a person becomes a channel of light, they also become a target of resistance. That is the spiritual paradox. The closer you are to your purpose, the stronger the wind blows against you. But here is the most important revelation. If you are being attacked, it is because you are important, because your soul carries a unique code, because you were sent to this world with a mission that only you can fulfill. And because that mission is so great, so luminous, so necessary, the shadows will try everything to stop you from completing it. But you are no longer asleep. You are no longer alone. Now you know the truth, and that truth is that you are awakening to who you truly are, awakening to the strength that has always been within you, waiting to be remembered, awakening to the awareness that every experience, even the darkest one, can be transmuted into light if you choose to use it as a stepping stone. So rise with more faith, with more determination, with the certainty that you are not alone on this path. If you felt this message in your heart, share this video with someone who also needs to awaken. Because the chosen ones do not walk alone. They walk in unity. And together, with our light shining, we can transform the darkness that still covers the world. The awakening has begun, and you are part of it.